Mrs. Soprano, Virginia Lupo, Remax Community Realty.
Tony Soprano wasn't a kingpin. He was a middle manager in a dying industry pretending to be royalty, and the show made sure you missed that. Tony Soprano, that suburban Caesar of North Jersey, occupies an intriguing economic paradox.
What line of work are you in?
Waste management consultant.
A man who lives in a McMansion without ever trafficking the narcotic gold mine that made lesser men billionaires. While he sips cappuccino under a portico financed by garbage, gambling, and extortion, the world around him has long since switched to faster cash and higher risk. The Sopranos' entire premise rests on that friction, an empire of obsolete vices struggling to keep its books balanced in a century that replaced brown envelopes with Bitcoin. The first myth to dispel is that Tony was extremely wealthy. By the standards of Essex County, perhaps. By those of the greater New York metro area, hardly. His mansion, now Zillowed into the $2.2 million range, is a respectable home but hardly Versailles. The neighbors are doctors and lawyers, not oligarchs. Even within the show's own social strata, his wealth feels upper middle, not transcendent. His second home in Seabright, now that was luxury. The yacht, the speculation, the taste of what rich really means. Yet even there, Tony's prosperity felt like cash flow, not capital. An empire that paid for steaks and shrink sessions, but never quite matured into generational wealth. So how did he afford it, if not through narcotics? The short answer? Breadth.
All right, my halfie is a new business partner. You.
Tony's wealth comes not from one racket, but from the cumulative efficiency of a dozen. Construction fraud, union manipulation, HUD scams, no-show jobs, gambling, shylocking, and that endlessly profitable garbage business that doubles as both front and metaphor. He takes a cut of everything that moves in North Jersey, a steady stream of envelopes from captains, soldiers, and earnings that would make a corporate CFO blush. He's less Scarface, more diversified conglomerate.
He's running down the garbage business.
The irony is that this diversification was a necessity, not a virtue. By the late 1990s, when The Sopranos is set, the old mob revenue streams had begun to collapse. Shakedowns became lawsuits, loan sharking gave way to credit cards, and small businesses, once the lifeblood of extortion, became corporate franchises guarded by in-house counsel rather than baseball bats. Surveillance cameras, digital banking, and the omnipresence of the IRS ensured that anyone trying to earn the traditional way would spend most of their time evading technology rather than the law. The show's refrain, "It's over for the little guy," wasn't nostalgia, it was accounting. That, of course, makes Tony something of a relic. He's wealthy for his time, but only within a dying industry.
Just testing, that's what a good lawyer would do. So what'd they say?
His uncle, Junior, epitomizes the generational decay. Once a powerful capo, he ends the series living frugally, whining about legal bills while his assets rot under RICO freezes. The same man who used to dine with mayors is reduced to squabbling over nursing home costs. Junior's problem isn't mismanagement, it's arithmetic. Lawyers, chemotherapy, and federal scrutiny devour whatever he squirreled away in mattresses. Inflation and age do the rest. It's a bleak but fitting metaphor for the entire institution. A criminal aristocracy rendered cash poor by modern bureaucracy.
It's good to be in something from the ground floor.
One can't help noticing how much of Tony's success relies on what he inherits. The DeMeo empire was already built when he arrived. Tony merely maintained it, polishing its fading brass.
I think about my father. He never reached the heights like me.
His father's connections, his uncle's rackets, his father-in-law's construction expertise. The man was practically born with a Shylock ledger in his hand. He didn't innovate, he managed. To his credit, he managed well. While Richie Aprile and Junior fumbled with coke deals like old men trying to install Wi-Fi, Tony understood the risk calculus.
Hey Sal, you need money, you come to me. You hear what I'm saying?
Narcotics bring in more cash, but also more heat. He preferred steady profit over spectacular implosion. A CEO's mindset disguised in a tracksuit. Not that he avoided drugs entirely. His lieutenants dealt, and many dealers kicked up to him indirectly. He simply refused to get his own hands powdery. It was a political stance, not a moral one. the line between involved and liable. By insulating himself from direct handling, he preserved plausible deniability while still collecting tribute from those who weren't so squeamish. In mob terms, that's fiscal hygiene. What's striking is how modest most of his peers live. Paulie, a lifelong soldier, scrapes by in a dated condo. Silvio, despite owning a successful strip club, remains middle class in aesthetic and aspiration. Vito and Ralphie managed luxury for a time, only to implode under their own appetites.
The bottom line is I'll be losing money every day the Esplanade is shut down.
Even Johnny Sack, New York's polished underboss, finds himself penniless once the Esplanade shuts down. These men risk life and liberty daily for cash they can neither invest nor flaunt. A cruel irony of the trade. Buy too much, and the IRS notices. Buy too little, and the ego withers. Their wealth is the kind that fills pockets, not portfolios.
I find I have to be the sad clown.
The series subtly mocks the notion of criminal success. Tony, endlessly anxious, spends his therapy sessions lamenting the regularness of life. Yet the life he's chosen offers little more than perpetual management of chaos. His men are not visionaries, but maintenance workers for a fading criminal infrastructure. Even their luxuries, poker games, strippers, fine meats, are depressingly repetitive. They risk federal prison for pleasures available to middle managers with a bonus check. It's not glamour, it's inertia. Had the show been set in 2025, Tony's business model would have collapsed entirely. Surveillance drones, digital money trails, and corporate consolidation have squeezed every drop of juice from the traditional mob playbook. You can't shake down a Starbucks. You can't loan shark a man with Venmo. To survive, a modern Tony would need to pivot to cybercrime, PPP fraud, or cryptocurrency manipulation, the digital offspring of his old scams. The waste management king of 1999 becomes the ransomware baron of 2025. That's evolution, if not progress. But perhaps the most honest element of The Sopranos is its refusal to romanticize the rewards.
This is Soprano, Virginia Lupo, Remax Community Realty.
Tony's mansion, a McMansion at best, is both symbol and satire. It's grand enough to inspire envy, cheap enough to betray insecurity. A monument to a man desperate to appear legitimate while knowing he never will.
I am interviewing a new contractor for my spec.
Even Carmela's white-collar aspirations, the spec house, the real estate dabbling, echo the same tragic logic, laundering sin through drywall. So was Tony Soprano extremely wealthy? Only in comparison to the sorry souls orbiting his table at Vesuvio. In the broader economic universe, he was a moderately prosperous crook, the upper middle class of organized crime. His house was big, yes, but so was the lie it represented. That power and money could fill the moral and spiritual rot at the core of a dying institution.
Since the ducks left.
The tragedy of Tony Soprano isn't that he made his fortune without drugs, it's that he made it at all, and discovered it wasn't nearly enough. He chased legitimacy. You can just hit subscribe.